So get this, podcast listeners. As you've heard, there is a labor shortage in the United States of America. There is. And robots are stepping up to make French fries. That's right. So if you have heard and been to a fast food chain lately, according to the Wall Street Journal, just published last week, amid the labor shortage, robots step in to make the French fries. In a White Castle, you know, the fast food chain White Castle, just southeast of Chicago, the 100-year-old purveyor of fast food, which is White Castle, has played host for the past year to an unusual and unusually hardworking employee, a robotic fry cook. Flippy, as the robot is known, is no gimmick, says Jamie Richardson, a White Castle vice president. It works 23 hours a day. 1 hour is reserved for cleaning. Glad they're cleaning it. And has operated almost continuously for the past year, manning or roboting the fry station at White Castle, number 42 in Merrillville, Indiana. Yes, Merrillville, Indiana. An industrial robot arm sheathed in a grease-proof white fabric sleeve. It slides along a rail attached to the ceiling, lifting and lowering each basket when ready, immune to spatters and spills, so it's not like a person that would get burned by, you know, spilling or spattering oil that's, you know, super hot. White Castle is so pleased with Flippy's performance that in partnership with its maker, Mizo Robotics, the chain plans to roll out an improved version, Flippy 2.0, to 10 more of its restaurants across the United States of America. There were more than 1.3 million unfilled job openings at restaurants and hotels in the United States as of just a month or so ago. Double the number a year earlier, according to the Department of Labor. So imagine that. You have Flippy, the fry machine, actually filling in. This technology is taking the place of human beings, which probably could have been done many years ago, but there was no incentive to do it at that time because it was an entry-level job to be a fryer, you know, someone that goes in there and mans the fries. And as an entry-level job, you know, at least you were learning a skill and you were starting out, you're learning how to interact with people, learning about how to get a paycheck and those kinds of things. But then when the pandemic started and has continued and seems to just, you know, in some cases get worse in other states. By worse, I mean government shutdowns and vaccine passports and mandatory masks and these kinds of things that make it even harder to find people to work for all kinds of reasons. Here you have White Castle saying, you know what, we're going to try this machine called Flippy. And Flippy makes the fries, and that's one less job at a minimum per store, maybe two, but certainly one. And if you recall, podcast listeners, just like a month ago, we were telling you about AI, artificial intelligence, being used at McDonald's so that when you drive up to that little kiosk in McDonald's to order your food, and normally a person answers and says, "Hi, welcome to McDonald's, may I help you?" Instead, the AI is saying that. You place your order, and the AI electronically puts it on the expediter, where the people then produce the food and package the food and deliver it to you at the next window. So that gets rid of another human being. So for all of those of you out there who think it's okay to sit on the sofa and not do anything, you know what's happening in real time? Businesses are adapting. And they're morphing into what they have to do in order to be able to survive. And a lot of this technology, as I said, has been around for a long time, but now they're going, you know what? I remember that guy that, you know, pitched to me like 3 years ago, that fryer machine that was automatic, and I didn't want to do it because I'm perfectly happy having people do it because I really support my people. Well, you know what? I'm going to try it now. And so another technological advancement here is Razor, the company Razor, is planning to make an ocean cleaning robot. I often talk about these kinds of high-tech devices in Mark of the Millennials because it's important to be able to understand. It's very important to be able to understand that there are many new gadgets and many new technological advances that are going to make the planet better, okay? Instead of just saying, climate change, they're actually solutions. Let's look for actual solutions and talk about those solutions. And we try to do that here versus go into the polemic of climate change, let's control everybody's life. So Razer wants to do way more for the world than make a cool mask to protect people from COVID-19. This is according to Technology Magazine. In a report by Game Rant, the gaming industry giant announced that they plan to build a Razer-themed ocean cleaning robot. So it's a bot. This is a boat that is a bot, and is a self-driving boat without a person in it, obviously, thus it's self-driving, and it basically roams the ocean and senses plastics and then picks them up and sends them into a compartment in the back of the actual boat or robot, and then brings it back to a much larger boat, which then only meets it once, of course, that robot is full of trash. And so they're going to deploy these out there. And, it's funny. I thought of this for a long time, thought this internally for a long time, podcast listeners, that technology really could solve a lot of these waste issues. Obviously, the best way to solve a waste issue with plastics is to not throw them in streams and waterways to begin with. I mean, that is kind of like a no-brainer. It shouldn't happen, but it does. And it happens, by the way, primarily in Asia. Okay, where, there really aren't restrictions on the environment, where there really isn't a respect for the environment. And we see all of that trash in the waterways and the ocean where it ultimately gets to. And this particular robot solves that problem. It certainly solves the problem of the existing plastics to the extent that, it hasn't sunk to the bottom. But at the same time, at least we can have the conversation about the fact that technology does solve problems, and we should look at technology as a way of doing just that. So way to go, Razer. Way to go, Razer, and way to go, Flippy, the French fry maker. I think it's a pretty cool thing.